Hey guys, it's been a minute. Done a few things on the car. We are a little over a month into ownership here. Rain got in the way, rain and 30-degree weather got in the way of getting a lot of this stuff done. I did manage to get a lot of other things done, which I wasn't documenting in the cold weather, but I'm going to come back here and just kind of go over it really quick. Was having fueling issues with this in the form of running great, just say like running like it should, good power, good response, and then just every once in a while I would go to start this thing up and it would just crank instead of just starting at the turn of the key like it has been. And slow to start. I had to put my foot down to get it to start, and then I had to keep my foot down just to keep it idling, and it would cut out, or just run for a little bit and not have enough power to even get in gear and crawl without stumbling. A little bit of misfiring when it's cold along with that, but aside from that, it was just anywhere between that, no power, and perfectly fine, and anywhere in between. Sometimes I'd start it up and it'd have like 60% power through the whole range of motion. And that wasn't just from the pedal, that was also in the bay with the throttle linkage. Watching air. Not seeing any because these lines, well, you can see this guy right here is brown. You can't really see anything with that. These other ones here I just replaced. You can see the other one on the front there. So I did just replace those, but I haven't gotten to that one. This is the one thing that I haven't done. And guess what the problem is going to be? I'm about to change this, and I'm pretty sure the problem's going to go away. I've done the shutoff. I've cleaned the oil out of the back of the line from the shutoff. I changed the ignition because oil got to the ignition. I actually changed the whole ignition out. It's brand new. It probably needed it anyway. New filter housing. I had to swap this one back because I was trying to eliminate issues with air. But I had swapped a newer fuel filter housing in. I took care of this bolt. I don't know if you can see that down here in the back at the end of that line. Stretched the spring out to 27 millimeters. We've got a brand new rack damper bolt on the back here, and probably can see that. I actually changed the vacuum pump on the front. It's one of the shiny things in here. Clean things in here, because I was hearing some tapping. Got a new injection pump finally after the other things. Rebuilt the lift pump first too. Changed the hoses leading in to and from the lift pump, or from the fuel filter housing and the lift pump. New handle. The injectors are built ready to go, but I didn't want to do those last because I didn't want to put any junk through them if there's any junk. The pre-filter has been this clean the whole time. It's actually been very nice, so there's no issue with clogging from the tank. I did a purge, which was a remote tank in the bay, and was having the same issues. I turned off the car and restarted it during the purge, and got replicated the same issues. It's available throttle all over the place. So I finally just decided, you know what? I'm pretty certain this is the injection pump. It looked like crap. So I got a new one. A new replacement. This is a Reman Bosch replacement pump that I got from somebody. And it was frozen. So I had to unfreeze it. That took like a week of some acetone and fuel soaking. Working it loose, pulling each injection pump delivery valve out, soaking them, ultrasonic bath, lapping, and using some cerium oxide with the valves in the collars, rotating them in there to clean those out nice and clean. So it is, and I retimed it, which was a pain in the butt. I think my timing chain was off a little bit more than I thought. but it's properly timed. It runs great. When it is running right, it runs amazing. But I turned it off the other day, and just for shits and giggles, decided, you know what, we're gonna turn this thing off and fire it back up again. And it again took a while to get started and exhibited the same problems as this was before I touched anything, which is frustrating. But again, there's one thing that I haven't done between the remote tank and the injectors, was that line, that dark brown line coming from the lift pump right here. This terrible mess of vacuum lines in the way, which is not factory. I am pretty sure I've got an air leak coming from here. Losing prime. Mind the wetness on the delivery valve seals. That one of those has a very, very slight leak from doing the drip timing. I got to change a seal out. So that's that. It's been a headache. It's been super annoying dealing with the timing, just because information doing timing is not really thorough from front to back anywhere. Even in the manual, it leaves some clarity out, and there's a lot of incomplete information out there. So I pieced it all together. I did figure out the easiest way to do it, which was just timing from putting the pump in place, and actually with a long bar, just creeping the engine around, the crank balancer, the crankshaft around, till I got it to drip there. Then I knew where the drip timing was there. Then I could do some calculations and get it back to where I wanted it to, and just kind of narrow it down a little bit more. Because trying to drip from the pump, even with the lines all off, it's a pain in the butt. And I'm going to go over this later in a separate video about the injection pump, because you can take that thing out without pulling the fuel filter. You can pull it out, you can set it, reset it. There's some tricks to this, to doing it the least work possible. It's still a pain. Don't get me wrong, it's not fun to do, but it's a lot easier than a lot of how-tos can make it out to be. So we're there with that. That's a lot. And then we're back over to this side. I couldn't really take this thing when it was running good. I couldn't really take this thing on long test drives and ramp it up, because I have come over here to my pile. There's the turbo out, and I don't want to get too gunked up here. You're not going to see that anyway, but it's maybe you can. Let's see if we can get in there and get some light. That is a very bad looking blade. Like that's messed up. And when I'd get up to like about 40 miles an hour on that, it would squeal, which is play, which is not good. That's aluminum on aluminum going into the intake, going into your engine. Huge no-no. So I can't really do, I mean, it's still spinning, but there's a point where there's probably losing balance because that's got wear to it. There's a point where you just don't want to push it, and so I wanted to change this turbo before I could get this out on a proper test drive. So the turbo, I have a rebuilt turbo. I'm not looking at it right now. I will just come over here to this. This is bad camera guy. This is my new manifold. So I am going to be running an EGR-less manifold. I have a naturally aspirated early 617 manifold, long runner, which I was thinking about using, but I'm not going to get too much into the whole long-winded effort of bigger elements, bigger turbo, EGT, sensor gauges, and all that stuff, and that's another chapter. Right now, we're just going to go for quick and easy. We're going to do, you can block it off if you want. They make block-off kits. have fun finding them on eBay. They prohibit people from listing them with that description for reasons you can probably figure out. But anyway, this is an SD manifold. This is early turbo manifold before the emissions standards required you to have an EGR right here, which is snake oil. It works on paper, but the reality is, and I'm going to get in here and we're going to take a look at this, and it is ugly. And this is all over the side. This is basically, I'm just going to show you this because this is what the inside of your intake manifold looks like. I mean, it is thick, it is caked on. Now, this is a leak. I had a couple bolts loose on the manifold side here, holding these things in. So we're just, we're blowing everything down here, and this is going to be a lot of fun to clean up. Bad fun and good fun. But that gets in your intake manifold. That sucks. Like, you don't want to see that stuff. Like, let's... I don't know if you're going to be able to see it thoroughly here, but I mean, you get the idea. It's really caked on. That ends up burning and going back into your engine and getting on your valves. It raises your temperatures. It's just, you're bringing hot air back into the engine, exhaust that isn't rich with oxygen. So there's a lot of bad things going on with that. So it's a really good thing when you do this to change that out. If you can, just to delete that. But that's what's on the agenda for the next couple days. I got to stop today. I don't know if you notice down here closer, I'm missing engine shock mounts and the engine shock stabilizers right there, right in the middle. There's a little hole. That's daylight. That should be a stabilizer. They're missing them on both sides. I'm going to do the turbo drain seal while I'm in here, which is also not fun to do, but this is the time to do it when you have this out. If you have any starter issues, this is the time to deal with that. I'll clean this up. Heater block plug looks good. I'll probably keep it. Always stoked on having that. Anyway, that's it for now. That's kind of a longer, take, just because I need to recap this because it's been a bit. But this is all going to clean up. This is going to be nice. And, we'll get this baby back up on the road here soon. All right, well, thanks for tagging along. We'll have some updates when they come.